Well, back to our top story tonight, the attempted assassination of Donald J. Trump for a second time. I'm joined now from Louisiana by former Secret Service agent and current president of Python Security Consulting, Donald Lane. So thanks for making time for us. Look, US President Joe Biden saying the Secret Service needs more help and calling for more resources. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely, yes. The Secret Service historically is a smaller agency, and I definitely believe, with these heightened, the heightened security around a lot of the protectees, particularly the former President Donald Trump, I do believe that an influx of personnel would help tremendously.
In that first assassination attempt a few weeks ago, there were a lot of criticisms about the way the security service around Trump behaved at the time, whether they missed things. Some said it was unfair speculation, but, one of the directors resigned over that. How does this compare to that in terms of the way the security service responded?
Well, in the first incident in July in, Butler, Pennsylvania, that was a total debacle. The Secret Service definitely dropped the ball. They should have been much better prepared. And so I don't think there's really much comparison between the two. For the one that happened here most recently, while they could have had more personnel there, the ones that were there, the agents that were there, did exactly what they should have done. They confronted this individual, prior to the former president being around that immediate area anyway. And, they were able to eventually apprehend him. So I look at, the one that happened here most recently as a success, although I'm hoping that the Secret Service will put more personnel on the detail to kind of widen the ring of protection around the former president, which I think is desperately needed.
Has the threat landscape in these kinds of attacks evolved in any way in recent years with regards to things like social media or the accessibility towards high-profile figures?
Yes, I do believe that's the case, with the kind of continuing explosion of social media, and also given a lot of divisiveness. There's a lot of divisiveness surrounding former President Donald Trump and him as a person and his family. And I think that, lends to a lot of the vitriol that you see coming out of folks' mouths around this campaign. And, I really believe that folks here in the United States need to tamp down that violent rhetoric, that causes folks who maybe aren't so stable to go out and try to do heinous, violent acts.
In terms of political and violent instability being the norm in the US, that's what someone's suggesting now. That's the kind of the new normal. Would you agree with that?
I hope it's not. I certainly hope it's not the new normal. It's certainly been the case for the last few years. There's no doubt about that. What I'm hoping is that folks realize that there are ways to, if I disagree with someone politically, there's a way for me to legally and in a good faith way debate that person or have a disagreement with him or her and not resort to name calling or violence. And I'm hoping that folks realize we need to reel things back to an environment that's safer as we move forward, and where folks can have a political discord without name calling and threats and so forth.
Really interesting. Thank you. I mean, let's just talk for a moment about your level of expertise. You're a security consultant now, presumably advising high-profile figures about exactly this type of thing. How complicated is it to prepare and prevent this type of thing happening?
Well, if you have a system in place, it's not that it's necessarily complicated. It's certainly very involved oftentimes. There are a lot of different things to take into consideration, starting with the advance, securing the places where this protectee will be traveling or going to. And, so it's a very involved procedure. It requires a lot of personnel and a lot of expertise. I wouldn't say it's necessarily difficult, although it's taxing, certainly, with respect to time and with respect to a lot of things that need to get done normally in a very short period of time.
In terms of copycats, are you concerned about that in terms of seeing more frequency of this type of thing?
Always concerned about it, yes. It's a concern of mine all the time. I think as folks, again, particularly those who maybe are unstable or who have, something to prove or have some violent ideology. There's always the fear that they're going to see someone do this and decide, it's my turn to go out there and try to do this as well. So, I think agencies like the Secret Service need to be on guard for things like that, as they would, generally do for any event.
Former Secret Service agent and current president of Python Security Consulting, Donald Lane. Thank you.